Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back with a eyeshadow palette review, kind of review, demo, and yeah, I could really do a full review on this. I was going to say overview, but I really could do a full review because I have been playing with this eyeshadow palette for a few weeks now. I have had a chance to use just about every shade in the palette. Without further ado, let me tell you what palette we were talking about. We were talking about the Flower Beauty Sugar Rush palette. So of the two new palettes that they just released, this was the one that I was most intrigued by. I love the shade selection in here. I love the idea of it being a totally purple and pink palette. The other one, which was like sun blazing or blazing, something like that, was very reminiscent of the ColourPop Yes Please palette or the Natasha Denona Sunset palette, and I do own the ColourPop palette, so I felt like that would be kind of redundant in my collection. But this, I do not have anything quite like. I don't have anything with mattes like some of these pinks in here, and I just thought that this would be a fun palette to add to my collection, and I also thought it would be a fun palette to do a kind of review, overview, and demo with on the channel here. So anyways, let's just go ahead and jump right into this. I'm going to talk about, well, let's talk about the formula first. So I will also say it does come with this little brush, and it is a decent little brush. So it's got kind of a nice tape, well, not really super tapered, but it's just a nice, it's not super fluffy, but it is also not very stiff. So this would be a good little crease brush to really kind of get the color right into the crease. This is not going to be a good like fluffy you know, blending brush or anything like that. It does kind of have a very thin, cheaply made handle, but it is a nice little brush for being included in a drugstore palette. Now we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shades in this palette, and of those 10 shades, we've got 5 mattes, we've got 2 what I would call topper shades, or very sparkly foiled topper shades really, and we have 3 shimmer shades, and those could be foiled. If you use those with a wet brush, I do believe that those would come off as a highly foiled finish. This is a very beautiful palette. All of the shades in this palette perform incredibly well. These, I would very easily say that these topper shades perform 100 times better than anything that you will find in a Too Faced palette or many of the higher end palettes that have those kind of chunky glittery topper shades. These 2 shades absolutely outperform, and I'm trying to get my fingers under them so you can see what I'm talking about. Those 2 shades absolutely outperform any of those glittery type topper shades that I have in Too Faced palettes, or any other palette that I have really. I think that these are the best formula that I've ever come across as far as those types of shades go. These shimmer shades are gorgeous. They apply beautifully. You do not need to. You can just barely tap your brush in there and you get huge color payoff. Beautiful pigmentation, and these mattes are absolutely gorgeous. They blend out like a dream. They do not get patchy. They haven't for me anyways. This is just my opinion. They have not gotten patchy. They blend out really beautifully, and I absolutely love the shade selection in here. I love that you've got these kind of pink shades. You've got a more cooler toned pink here. You've got a bit of a warmer toned or neutralish pink here, which pairs really beautifully with the purples or with this kind of darker raspberry shade here. You do have a really beautiful deep plummy shade for defining that kind of outer corner, the lower lash line. You've got a really nice selection of shades in here, a really nice shade range. You've got some lighter shades to some medium. You've got this really nice kind of almost buckskin brown color that pairs really beautifully with this shade right next to it, which is almost a deep rose gold shade. Just some really beautiful, unique shades in this palette. I think this was really well done. So let's get into some swatches here. We'll just go ahead and swatch across. Now, I will tell you that these shadows are very, very soft. So the mattes are going to kick up quite a bit of powder in the pan. The shimmers as well, they do kick up quite a bit. They're very soft shadows. So if you do not like that, then you will not like this palette. Come on, camera. I cannot get this camera to focus today for anything. Okay, so these are the first 4 shades. And this is one of those topper shades, and you can see it just went on beautifully. Get a little makeup wipe here. One of these days I'm gonna get it together and be like a real YouTuber and have this stuff prepared before I sit down. But I still don't have, I have a designated spot in my house for doing these things, but it's like I can't keep everything in one place. I have to transport things back and forth from room to room, and it gets to be a lot. But anyways, I'm sorry, I don't mean to complain. Okay, these are the next 4 shades. There we go with the focus. Okay, so that is a matte. This is also a matte. This top one is also a matte. And you can see they are kind of chunky because they are quite soft shadows, very soft. Okay. And the last 2 here, which is this beautiful topper shade, as well as this pink. Oh, they're so soft. It's almost hard to pick them up with your fingers, but they do perform beautifully with the brush. So that's that sparkly topper shade, and that is a matte on the bottom. So these are the swatches. This palette does not swatch incredibly well, and I would say probably because the shadows are so soft and quite powdery. I would say that the texture of the mattes are almost like a pressed baby powder. They're very, very soft. They're all quite soft, even the shimmers. But these do perform really, really beautifully. And this one here is kind of a duochrome. It's purple and it kind of goes to bronze. It's just really beautiful. And I'm typically not a huge fan of duochrome shadows just because I feel like they're all the same. It's always kind of that blue-orange, blue-green, brown-blue, brown-green. And there's just not a lot of variety, and I have so many in my collection, but this one is actually quite unique. It is more of a kind of purple or violet to kind of a periwinkle blue. It's really, really beautiful. So anyways, those are the swatches. I'm going to go ahead and go into the tutorial here, and I don't feel like I'm very good at these tutorials, but I hope that it's helpful for you. I do just want to show you how some of these shadows perform. I am not a makeup artist, I am a makeup enthusiast, so if I look like I don't know what I'm doing, I might not know what I'm doing, but I will do my best. So I'm just going to start out with, and I think I'm going to do a purple look today. I'm going to go in with the mattes, the pink mattes, and then I'm going to go in with this purple matte here as well as this purple shimmer, because those are the 2 shades, the 2 purples are the only shades in the palette that I have not used. I'm then going to top it with this little topper here, and then, or I might even go in with this purple topper, I don't know, we'll see. And then I'm going to deepen it up with this plum here. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by dipping into the cooler pink here. So, and this is a Wayne Goss number 16 brush. This is just a big, huge, fluffy blending brush. And I will show you, if I can get this to focus, when you dip into these, you can see very, very powdery, quite a bit of kick up. So If you don't like that, yeah, maybe you might want to stay away from this one. But so I've got all of my face makeup done, and I am going to be going in with this cooler tone pink shade, just buffing right in that upper kind of crease area, using it almost as a transition shade. And you can see that these mattes just blend out beautifully in no time. It takes almost no time at all to blend these out. I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in. I'm sorry, I should have done that to begin with. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Oh, these are just the most beautiful shadows. Okay. So next I'm going to go in with a little bit more of, or a little bit smaller of a brush here. I am going to go in with this Wayne Goss number 19 brush, and if you are ever in the market for high-end brushes, but you can only get one, this is the brush that I would recommend. This Wayne Goss number 19 brush. It is little. It's perfect for doing crease work. You can really get into the outer corner. It's just such a good brush. So I'm going to go in with the matte purple in the palette now. And I'm just going to put that a little bit lower in the crease. I'm going to tap off just a little bit on the outer corner and a little lower in the crease here. Still buffing and kind of circular motions here, bringing it all the way over to the inner corner as well. Okay, and we'll do the same on the other eye here. These are just so beautiful. They just blend out so effortlessly for being a drugstore palette. I'm sorry, I should have told you also, I did pick this up at Walmart for $14.97. I do believe that these are available on the Ulta.com website for $16.99. So if you can find them in your Walmart, it will save you a little bit of money. Okay, I'm going to go in with this Wayne Goss number 20 brush. This is the smallest brush in the little Wayne Goss collection there. I'm going to go back into that matte pink that I first started with, and I'm just going to dust it just on the lower lash line. I am going to bring this all across because I am going to do kind of a smoky eye today. I guess kind of a spring smoky eye. And just connect it right back up there to the outer corner there. I'm going to do that on the other eye here. This is typically my go-to shadow look, especially because I do get up so early in the morning. I have to be pretty quick with my makeup, and I do like to do a full face of makeup every day. It makes me feel better. So yeah. Okay, next I'm going to go in with this little tiny pencil brush, and which I did get off of Amazon in a little set, I guess. And I'm just going to get this closer to the lash line, bring that all the way across, and just buff that in at the lash line. Okay. And just doing the same thing on the other side here. So you can see, as well as these shadows did not swatch, they perform really, really beautifully on the eyes. They do blend out really, really nice. These mattes are just a dream to work with. They're so easy. So easy. Okay, I am going to go ahead and go in with this little, if I can find it here. Yes, here we go. Nope, that's not the one I'm looking for. I'm sorry, guys. I've got this huge thing of brushes that I use every day. It's my everyday brush holder. Okay, and I just dropped it. Okay, so this is a Morphe M507. This is just a really tiny little tapered crease brush, and I typically use this brush for my outer corner. It's tapered and it's almost got like a flatness to it. So it's really, really nice. You can see if I turn it sideways, it's kind of, it's got a flatness to it. So it's really nice for pressing into that outer V. So I'm gonna go into this deep plummy shade here. And we're gonna tap off the excess, and I'm just going to tap that into the outer V here and bring it just up into the very lower crease here. And this is also nice because it lays flat against your eye, but you can really buff into the crease with the point. It's a really, really nice little brush, and I think it was like $6 from Ulta. So, okay, and then just doing the same thing on the other side. I hope that this camera angle is okay and that you can really see well, because it's hard. The viewfinder on my camera is quite small, so I really can't tell how it's going to turn out until I go back to edit my videos. And usually they turn out fine. The angle is usually fine. It's usually close up enough, but I guess I feel like my face should be right in the camera, and yeah. I don't know, I'm just weird. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with this little tiny pencil brush. Actually, no, not this little tiny pencil brush. I have another little tiny brush here. This is a Real Techniques accent brush, and this is the tiniest little brush, and it's completely flat, and it is round, and it's got very stiff bristles, so this is really, really great for getting really close to your lower lash line here. So I'm going to buff this just into the very, very outer corner here, right up against my lash line. Okay. I'm going to do that just on the other side. And I'm going to keep this little guy out because, oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize I was blocking with the mirror there. I'm going to keep this little guy out because when I put my eyeliner on, I typically use that to buff the eyeliner down onto my lash line. So, ooh, my hair is crazy. I just got out of the shower and it's really, you know, doing its frizzy thing, which is typically what my hair does. Okay, so we're going to go onto the lid with the shimmery purple here. And I'm just going to use this Bodyography Pro flat shader brush that I did get in a BoxyCharm. This is also nice. It is flat. It is very small and tapered. I love this for packing shadow onto the lid. So going to go in with this shimmery purple here. And just pick up, I mean, you can see it just picks up so much product. I just barely tapped into that and it really picked up. Okay. And we're just gonna put that all over the lid. Ooh, I'm getting some fallout. So you can see I am getting some fallout. Which with shadows this soft is definitely not it's not surprising that I am getting quite a bit of fallout. And I really didn't get any fallout with the mattes. It really wasn't until this kind of shimmer. And I would actually venture to say that this is more of a satin shadow than a shimmer. This does not have a high shine to it. It is quite satin. So really beautiful though. That's a really beautiful color. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to tap over with some sparkle because I have to add sparkle to everything. So let's see, do I want to go in with this one or this one? This one has a lot of pink to it, so I think I'm gonna stick with this purple one here, and I'm just gonna use my finger to apply that, to just kind of tap that all over the lid here. Gosh, it's so gorgeous. Now that will just give you an absolute wet look. That's really beautiful. I mean, that just makes my eyelids look wet. Okay, let's go ahead and do the same to the other side here. The only thing is, these are best applied with the finger for sure, because it is hard to pick up a chunky sparkle with a brush. The only thing is that it's like I'm fat fingered with everything, so I always tend to get it up in my crease, which is okay, but I have a very hard time keeping it kind of under control. So I'm going to go in with kind of like a stiffer, this is a Moda Pro BMX 430 crease brush, and it really doesn't have anything on it. I don't typically use this for a whole lot, so I'm just going to go in with this stiffer brush to kind of get some of that shimmer to calm down a little bit. Okay, so I do have shimmer all in my crease now from being fat fingered with that topper, but that is the finished eye look. So I'm gonna jump off camera here. I'm gonna go do my liner and mascara, and then I will jump back on to show you the kind of final look, and we will talk about kind of the overview of this palette. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so this is the final finished look, and I will go ahead and zoom you in just a bit so you can see. It turned out really beautifully. Do not mind the little mascara smudges that I have, because I did just finish applying my mascara. I did go in with just liner and mascara after I finished up applying the eyeshadow. The eyeliner that I went in with is this little tiny baby that I've got left. This is one of the NYX Faux Black eyeliners, and these are beautiful eyeliners. So this is in the shade Blackberry. I do have a few of these. I've got a blue one, a green one, the burnt sienna one, I believe, and then this blackberry one, which is almost gone. And these are great because they're like deepened shades of whatever color you want. So this is a very deepened purple, so it almost looks like you're wearing black liner, but it's not quite as harsh as black. It is just a very deepened, almost a blackened purple, and I just love these liners. They will stay on your waterline absolutely forever. So sorry, this is not a video about this liner. I just wanted to talk about how great it was, because it is what I'm wearing on my both my tightline and my waterline. So I am also wearing the Monsieur Big by Lancome mascara. This is a great high-end mascara. This is pretty much a one coat and done for me. I do have 2 coats on today, but you could go in with just 1 coat of this and be completely fine with it. This is not one that I can wear on my lower lash lines on days that I work, though, because it does transfer. I will get little black spots down below my eyes. So yeah, this is the finished look, and I think it turned out really, really beautifully. I did not do an inner corner highlight today because there's really not a shade in this palette for an inner corner highlight. You could go in with this sparkly topper here and put that in the inner corner, but it is quite chunky, so I feel like it would just be a chunky mess and get all over your face. I did have some of the shimmer topper here transfer down here, and I just went in with a stiff brush and just kind of buffed it off. So yeah, this is the finished look. I think it turned out really beautifully. So I'm gonna zoom you back out. Let's talk about this palette. So again, very dusty, very soft, like baby powder like texture almost. After doing the swatches, my little palette is kind of a mess, but as you saw in the tutorial, these just really perform beautifully. The shade selection is so beautiful. I just love this palette, and I just think it's such a good find from the drugstore. $14.97 at Walmart, and I think it is worth every penny of $14.97. So yeah, I hope that this video was helpful for you. I hope that this was something that will help you make a decision whether this is something you want to pick up or not. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.